गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। गुड इवनिंग, जय हिंद, नमस्कार। कैसे हैं आप सभी लोग? गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। सो आई होप all of you are doing well. Namaste, good evening. So I welcome you all to this session. I hope all of you are doing quite good. Wonderful, that's good. So I welcome you all to this session of daily current affairs, and the topics which we are going to discuss today. The first topic is related with biosimilars. Okay. In today's newspaper, if you go through it, there is no such major announcement. But what we see that there is one topic about biosimilars. So keeping in mind, we will talk about this. Why? Because this year also in the budget, there has been a discussion about biosimilars and biologics. So we will try to discuss about it. Second part, we are also going to talk about is stubble burning, the environment related issue. Why we are going to discuss about it? There is a new development in this regard. Now ISRO will be considering some better algorithms in order to detect the fires across the areas of Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, NCR, etc. So that is one thing which we will see. Then we will talk about gold and its impact on economy. In the recent times, there has been a very much increase, a tremendous increase in the prices of gold. So normally people will expect that if gold prices are too high, then people will be purchasing less amount of gold. But what we see in fact, that despite the increase in the gold prices, the purchasing of gold is still going on higher. Indian consumers have a different way of reaction towards the gold prices. So people are purchasing more and more. So what is the impact on economy because of this excessive gold purchase? We will try to see that. Then we will also see this one thing, diversity in judiciary. This was one topic which we could not discuss last day. So we will discuss that part also in today's session. So let's start with some question. We have discussed about Rajya Sabha. So here we have the first question. A Rajya Sabha MP must belong to the state which he or she wants to represent. Second, a Rajya Sabha MP can be elected by the MLAs of union territories. So what would be the correct answer? B option. B option. I think majority of people are going for B option. So last day we have seen a Rajya Sabha MP must belong to the state which he or she wants to represent. This is not a requirement. A Rajya Sabha MP can be elected by the MLAs of union territory. That is correct. So here the answer will be option number B, that is 2 only. Project Vault is an US initiative to help the partners of Pax Silica. It will create strategic reserves of critical minerals. So here we are having question number 2. We have the question number 2. We have question number 2 here. Project Vault is an US initiative to help the partners of Pax Silica. Second is saying Project Vault will create strategic reserves of critical minerals. So which one is correct here? Again B option. B option. So yes, if you look at this, it is a US initiative, but it is not for helping the partner of Pax Silica. It is for developing the national strategic reserve of critical minerals in United States. In United States, it is for building the national critical reserves. Project Vault will create strategic reserves of critical minerals. That is correct. So second option is correct here. Cities with a population of 10 lakh or more, all capitals of states and union territories, all tourist cities with a population of 1 lakh or more. In how many of the above cities Urban Challenge Fund scheme will be implemented? So here we have question number 3. Here we are having question number 3 about the Urban Challenge Fund. I think if you have gone through the classes in the last week, we have discussed about this Urban Challenge Fund. B option. B has got the hat trick today. Okay. So here again, yes, C option, A option. So if you look at this, both of them are correct. The third one is correct. It is not all tourist city. It is major industrial cities. It is basically about major industrial cities. The major industrial cities with a population of 1 lakh or more, they will be considered, not the tourist cities. So answer will be option number B. Option number B is the correct answer. Now coming to this one topic. There is this one concept called as biologics and biosimilars. So if you are looking for if you are going through this current affairs, since the beginning of this month, I think you would be able to tell the difference between biologics and biosimilar. Can you tell me what is the difference between this biologics and biosimilars? Any idea about this? If you have been watching the classes from the beginning of this month, I think you would be able to answer this. We are almost completing the 2/3 of this month. This is 20th of Feb. If you have gone through the initial few days of Feb, the current affairs of the initial few days, you might be aware about this biologics and biosimilars. So what exactly are they? Biologics and biosimilars. Biosimilar nature-based chemicals, drug with some content but unrecognized. Making some change for patient or patent? Not all same, but somewhat same. Okay. And what is biologics? What is biologics then? Patent. Okay. See, when we talk about this, there is one thing called as biologics. So they are basically complex medicines which has been made from living cells. Biologics are basically complex medicines which has been derived from living cells like microorganism, plant, animal cell, etc. They are having this large complex molecular structure, like it can be proteins, it can be monoclonal antibodies. So they are generally developed through this recombinant DNA technology. And once a product like that is created, then there is also a patent which is being provided. Like, can you tell me, there is a very famous name, Birsa 101. Birsa 101. Can you tell me, this is also a biologics. This is also a biologics, Birsa 101. It is a complex protein or a monoclonal antibody which has been created. And The Indian Council for Agricultural Research, the Department of Biotechnology and CSIR has taken the patent for this. The CSIR has also got the patent for this BIRSA 101. The BIRSA 101 for this CSIR has also got patent. Can you recall what is the use of this BIRSA 101? Can you tell me what is the use of this BIRSA 101? Any idea about it? Biologics need no approval. No, it's not that there is no such requirement of approval. They will be requiring the approval also. It's not without approval. So in cancer or something else, BIRSA 101, this is for what? BIRSA 101, this is for sickle cell anemia. This is something which is for sickle cell anemia. This is for treatment of a sickle cell anemia. So you will find that, yes, for sickle cell disease, this is being developed. So BIRSA 101 is a technique in which we are doing this gene editing. We are doing this gene editing through some complex proteins, via the method of CRISPR-Cas9. Okay. So in that case also, in the case of BIRSA 101 also, we are trying to cure a disease. So this is an example of biologics, or rather very complex example. It can be simply in the form of some insulins also. It can be in form of monoclonal antibodies also. So there is generally a patent protection for the biologics for a period of 20 years. For a period of 20 years, any such insulin, any such monoclonal antibody, any such protein which has been created, they are getting the patent for a period of 20 years. Now, once the patent expires, when there is expiry of the patents, then generally some other manufacturers may create a similar product. Similar, not identical. There is a difference here. It is similar, but it is not identical. So they are highly similar to an already approved biologic. A biologic which has already been approved. So similar to that, a biosimilar is created. Okay. So there is no such clinically meaningful difference in safety, purity or efficacy. But they are not identical, but comparable due to complexity of biologics. So biosimilars are generally prepared after expiry of patents of this reference biologics. So they are generally low cost. Okay. They also will require approval, but they will generally get approval quite easily. They will be getting the approval quite easily as compared to biologics. So biologics are basically the medicines, the proteins, the monoclonal antibodies, or any such enzyme which has been created using living organisms. They are complex part, but a similar thing can be made after the expiry of patent. It is called as biosimilars. So it is same like biologics, but slightly different. So that is the difference between biologic and biosimilar. Okay. Now you can see the news here. Okay. So we have got this one biosimilar. Okay. So one company has got a biosimilar of a pharmaceutical that is for eye diseases. Okay. So you don't have to remember this part. I am just telling you what is biologics and what is biosimilar. फॉर्मूला नहीं देखो दीपक की academy. हाँ देखो दीपक की academy. See this one part. It is not like the formula part. It is not like the generic medicine. Generic medicine is using the chemical formula and all. Here we are using a living organism to create a certain protein. It is not just like that we are creating it simply from a formula by just replacing one OH group or two OH group. Here we are using living cells to produce almost similar antibody or enzymes or proteins or monoclonal antibody. So that is the difference. It is not a chemical product which will have the same formula or different formula. Okay. So this is our first topic, what is biologics and what is biosimilar. Now here we are coming to the second part. The second part is about the stubble burning issue. It is about the stubble burning issue. So now what we are seeing that ISRO and other agencies, they are working for this part. They are working for this, that we have to improve our accuracy. We have to improve our accuracy in detection of stubble burning or fire events. So this is one part. What is the context? The context is this, that there is going to be a higher focus on detection of stubble burning events. Stubble burning events. There is going to be a higher focus on stubble burning events. Now the question is, why? Why we are so much concerned about it? Why we are trying to look at this? See here. There is one thing. If we are talking about this stubble burning, just see this one part. What is the extent of the problem? The extent of problem. What is the extent of problem? The extent is like this. Around 28 million ton. 28 million ton paddy. 28 million paddy stubble. This is something which is generated within 30 days. So in this area of Punjab, Haryana and Delhi NCR region, in a 30 days period, in the month of November, in the month of October and November, you may be aware this is about the stubble burning issue in Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh. So in the month of October, before the event of Deepavali, you may see this one thing, that farmers are going for stubble burning of stubbles. Now, due to that stubble burning, there is a huge pollution which is created, which chokes the entire Delhi NCR region. So, what we see that there is around 28 million ton paddy stubble which is generated within 30 days in this area. Now, what we also see that the farmers, they are having a very limited time. This paddy field is getting harvested, the paddy are getting harvested by the end of October, and within 10 to 15 days, they have to prepare for the Rabi season. So they have got 10 to 15 days to manage this stubble. They have around 10 to 15 days to manage this stubble. Now tell me, is it possible that in 10 to 15 days we would be able to manage that much of stubble in the agricultural fields? Is it possible to create this or to remove this stubble? Let me give you one more idea. Sir, it is not happening in another state, then why impact not created because of another state? Let me tell you one part why this issue is there. In case of Punjab and Haryana, and even western Uttar Pradesh, you will find that there is huge machines waste harvesting. Machine waste harvesting. Let me give you an idea. Like suppose this is a labor harvesting. Labor. So suppose that, let's say, this is our paddy plant. This is our paddy plant. Okay. In both the regions, this is suppose our paddy plants. Now, if the farmers are using laborers, if the farmers are using laborers for cutting the paddy, if the farmers are using the labor for cutting the paddy, then what happens that it is gone to this level. Only this much stubble remains in the field. If there is use of labor, then only this much stubble remains in the field. But when there is use of machines, then what we see that when there is a use of machines, then what we see that this much stubble remains in the field. When we are using the labor, then only this much stubble remains in the field. Even if you are plowing the field, it will easily be crushed. It will easily be mixed into the ground. But in case of Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh, where there is high level of mechanization, where there is higher use of machines, a significant part of stubble remains in the field. A significant part of the stubble remains in the field because the upper portion is removed by the machines. The major portion of the paddy remains in the field itself. So now removing this stubble is a challenge for the farmers. Removing this stubble becomes a challenge for the farmers. If they are trying to plow it down, then also it cannot be done, or you need huge amount of resources. If you are spraying on it also, then also you need huge amount of resources. If you are using labor again, then again higher input cost. So what is the cost of burning them? You just need a matchbox, 5 रुपए का खर्च है. Just need a matchbox, and by that matchbox you can burn the entire stubble. So this will be a quicker method of getting rid of stubble. So this is why in the case of Punjab and Haryana, there is more and more like incidences of stubble burning as compared to other parts of the country. So I hope this one part is clear. Why there is an issue of stubble burning in the case of Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh. Why they have to burn their stubbles? Because there is a time duration of 10 to 15 days. And within that 10 to 15 days, it is quite difficult to manage this stubble. The use of machines is causing this. Here we have the use of labor. Here we have the use of machines. So I hope this one part is clear why there is more and more stubble issue in the case of Punjab and Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh. Then see this one thing, that what is happening right now. What we see that the existing satellite based fire counts were not accurately reflecting the true and extent of farm fires. So right now we are using satellite to count how many fire incidences have been there. ISRO is using its satellite to count the number of fire incidences or stubble burning in case of Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh and other regions. So these numbers have not been accurate. Large burnt patches appeared in satellite images even when actual active fires were small. तो अगर कम जगहों पे भी आग लगी है, then also in the satellite images it was like that there is a huge fire. And sometimes what we see that the smaller fires were sometimes missed or not recorded at all. और जो छोटे छोटे फायर के इवेंट्स हुए वो तो रिकॉर्ड ही नहीं हुए. So some of the smaller incidences some of the smaller stubble burnings were not counted by the satellites, and the larger ones, there was either like a misreporting of that part. So keeping all these things in mind, now what we are seeing that ISRO and all other agencies, they are trying to improve their functioning. So they are doing a trial now, trial run of new algorithms. Trial run of new algorithm. When it is going to be conducted? When? During harvest season of Rabi crops. During harvest of Rabi crops. यानी अभी का जो मौसम है, after 1 month, you will find that the harvesting of Rabi crops will start. By the end of the March, or even in the middle of March itself, you will find that the harvesting of the wheat is going to start. The harvesting of the Rabi crop is going to start in the next 15 to 20 days or maybe 30 days maximum. So now ISRO will be having a trial run of its new algorithm to check whether they are able to predict this stubble burning in a better manner or not. So this is one thing, why there is a stubble burning, what has been the challenges in reporting this, and what ISRO is going to do now in the upcoming case, in the upcoming times. Can you tell me, when we are burning the stubble, what is the major pollutant? Again, I am asking this question, what is the major pollutant? What is the major pollutant from stubble burning? Can you tell me what is the major pollutant which is coming from stubble burning? अगर हम stubble को burn कर रहे हैं, तो what is the major pollutant which is created? According to me, they have to work on reward system, not to impose fines or penalties. The government is using carrot and stick policy. Government is in fact using carrot and stick policy. They are trying to incentivize some of the farmers and they are trying to penalize some of the farmers. Methane. I don't think methane is the major one coming from here, and plus it is not counted as a pollutant as such. One part is methane. Okay, let me tell you what is the major risk here. CO and black carbon, sulfur dioxide. Yes, here you will find that carbon monoxide is there, sulfur dioxide is there, plus at the same time PM particles, particulate matter, PM 2.5, PM10, they are one of the major pollutants which are coming from the stubble burning in the areas of Punjab and Haryana. So carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, particulate matter, they are the major pollutants which are getting released from the burning of stubble in these areas. And especially the problem is this PM particles, and yes, of course, black carbon also. Black carbon is also a type of particulate matter itself. Okay. So this is the problem in case of Punjab and Haryana. So that is the second topic. Now coming to the gold. Okay. So have you purchased gold in the recent time? Gold. Have you purchased any gold in the recent times? There was once a movie called as Three Idiots. Okay. There was once a movie Three Idiots. So in that movie, there was a very popular scene in which one of the character, he was saying that paneer is becoming so much costly. In one of that scene, the one of the character was saying that paneer is becoming so much costly that in the upcoming times it will be sold in the shops of jewelers. That paneer is becoming so much costly that it will be sold in the shops of jewelers. Okay. So now jewelers got offended, gold got offended from there. From that movie, the gold has got offended so much. If we compare the gold prices at that time, if you see the gold prices at that time in 2012, I guess it was somewhere near 10, 12,000 or maybe 20,000 approximately. So gold, the bhindi 12 ke and govi 10 ke, and paneer will be sold in the jeweler shop. So from there, that gold got offended, and then it started a race that paneer should never be able to compete with gold. Paneer should never be able to compete with gold. So gold has increased its rate from around 10,000, 12,000 at that point of time. So now 1,35,000, 40,000 approximately. So next time when someone is making fun of gold, they should think about it. Gold can start a race, and that race can take it to anywhere in the world. Now, if we look at this, just see this one thing. See the gold ETF demand. Okay. There is exchange traded fund. Okay. So see at the demand of the gold. In March 2007, it was like about 1 ton. It was about 1 ton when the gold was quite at lower rate, 7,000, 8,000 rupees per 10 gram. The rate of gold was around 8,000, 10,000 rupees per 10 gram. At that time, people were taking ETF of gold of near about 1 ton. Now this has been increasing. And see this, January 2025, it was still around 4.47 ton. But see January 2026, from 4.47 ton approximately to 15.52 ton. That is the demand of gold. That is the demand of gold in January 2026. So you can see that gold is becoming like one of those assets, that higher the price, higher the demand. Higher the price, higher the demand. There is a special term for these type of goods in economy. I think you may be aware about this, that in economy we have a special term for those goods which has got higher demand if their prices is higher. So what is that term also? I think you might be aware about this. There is a terminology for it. That certain goods are there, they are high in demand if their prices are high. So what are the names of those goods? Giffen goods or something else? I'm just forgetting the term. You are all economists, so you should be telling me later. Now see this one thing. The question is this, that why more investment in gold? Why more investment in gold? Why there is more investment in gold? Why there is a higher investment in gold? And especially what you will see that, now people are like basically a change from physical gold to gold bond or gold related ETF. There is a focus. Now people are not going for purchasing the physical gold. People are more often investing in gold rather than actually purchasing it from the market. So it's not that the gold prices are just rising because people are wearing more jewelries. Nowadays, you may have seen that people are wearing less jewelry, because even if you are having a 10-gram gold chain or something, and if you are going outside on the road, you are at risk continuously. If you are having a 10-gram gold or 20-gram gold chain also with you and you are going outside, then you are continuously at risk. You need some bodyguard also along with that gold. And if you are having, like some people are wearing even those what we say, bangles or bracelets of gold, so they should be getting this VIP security or Z plus security. If someone is having this gold bangles or gold thing, they need to have that Z plus security also, maybe some days. So what we see now, people are not investing in that physical gold, rather they are starting to invest in the digital gold or the gold bond. Now the question is why? Why there is a focus here? Because no challenge of purity test. No challenge of purity test. In gold, there is a scam also. Sometimes people give you false or lesser gram of gold, more of silver. It is mixed. So that is one challenge. But in gold bond or ETF, there is no such risk of loss of purity of gold. You are simply investing in gold as a fund or a bond and you are getting paid for it. Plus the performance of gold. The performance of gold. Third part which you can see, यही रीजन है कि मैं सीधा गोल्ड बिस्किट लेती हूँ. Then you will need that Z security for your house. YouTube पे तो लिखना भी मत. Just 1 second. So what we see here, that there is also one thing like the operations of banking system. The banking system in India, they have also like made the people shift to the gold. The banking system in India have also made the people shift towards the gold or other forms of investment. Why? Whenever you go to the bank, you say that I have to open a bank account or I have to open a FD. Just 1 second. I don't know why the camera is fluctuating so much. मेरे ऊपर नजर नहीं रखना. These are 40 rupees. Local market, 40 rupees only. Okay. So see this one thing. The operations of banking system, how they operate, they tell the people that if you have come to open the bank account, come after lunch. Okay. Maybe come after 2 days, 3 days, 5 days. The process is so long. Okay. The process is so long that it becomes so much challenging. So keeping that all thing in mind, people have now started shifting to the gold bonds or to the gold funds. Now there is a challenge. What we see, this gold import, it has surged to about 12.7 billion in January. And it has pushed the India's trade deficit to $35 billion. this import of gold from outside, the import of gold from outside, it is causing huge trade deficit for India. That is one of the challenge which we see in investment in gold. That the investment in gold is causing this one problem. The investment in gold is causing this problem that we are having a higher trade deficit. That is one part. Second thing, this is also one challenge. It is worsening the current account deficit. It is putting the pressure on rupee, and it is also diverting the saving from productive investment like manufacturing and infrastructure. When people are saving the money in gold, it becomes inactive. When people are saving the money in gold, it becomes an inactive investment. It becomes an inactive investment. Because if you have invested in gold, it means now you have got the money. Now you have to just keep that gold with you. Yes, of course, you will have appreciation, but for the economy, it becomes a challenge. If you are saving the same amount of money in the banking system, it is favorable for the entire economy. It is bringing more investment. Banks will be able to give more loan. But in the recent times, people have started shifting their money away from the banking system, towards this gold bond or mutual funds or others. So that is a challenge for the economy. That is a challenge for the monetary system of the country. Because gold investments cannot be regulated with that much efficiency by the central bank. So sometimes it may bring huge amount of money in the economy. Sometimes it can cause lack of capital in the economy. So gold investment may be better for some people. Gold is called gold because throughout the ages, dollar may be there, may not be there. Any currency of the world may survive or not survive. But throughout the ages, throughout the kingdoms, throughout the autocracy, democracy, and all other cracy, there is one thing which have always survived. There is one thing which has always been valuable, accepted across the world, in each and every country, in each and every continent, and that is gold. This is one such currency, this is one such metal which is always acceptable in each and every part of the world. And not just today, in the past also, in the present also, and in the future also. So that is the value of gold. So gold is a very good form of investment for a common people, but for the economy point of view, this becomes a challenging part because it is withdrawing the capital from the money from the monetary system. It is investment in a fixed asset. It may bring return for 1%, but it is challenging for the economy. अब मेरे पे नजर क्यों डाले हुए हो? यस सर, अभी मैंने खुद की इनकम से 5 तोला गोल्ड खरीद लिया है और इसी तरह से एक प्लॉट भी ले लिया है. दैट्स गुड. उसमें एक छोटा सा जो एक प्लॉट होगा तो उसमें एक छोटा सा कहीं पे एक कमरा वगैरह बन जाए, एक स्टूडियो इन देयर, वहीं से मैं आके क्लास ले लूंगा. नाउ मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट, डाइवर्सिटी इन जुडिशियरी. ठीक है, कल हम लोगों ने ये टॉपिक नहीं देखा था. लास्ट वी हैव नॉट सीन दिस टॉपिक. देखो अभी के समय में द पर्सन हु इज हैविंग 1 kg गोल्ड, they don't have to worry about anything. Now come to this one part, diversity in judiciary. What we see, basically a private member bill has been introduced. Why? To amend the constitution in order to bring diversity in judicial appointment and set up regional benches of Supreme Court. एक प्राइवेट मेंबर बिल लाया गया, and what is the demand? That there should be regional bench of Supreme Court. One part. Second part, there should be more diversity in the judicial appointment. So there is a question on this. There is a question on this that there should be higher and higher diversity in our judicial system. So at present, if we look at our judicial system, what is the method of appointment of judges in higher judiciary? What is the method? Here. Article 124, it says that the judges of the Supreme Court are going to be appointed by the President after consulting the Chief Justice of India. So here it has been said that the judges of Supreme Court are appointed by the President but after consultation with the Supreme Court. And we see that there is a system which is called as collegium system. So instead of Chief Justice of India, the collegium system is actually recommending the names of the judges for High Court or Supreme Court. The collegium system is there which is recommending the names of the judges of High Court and Supreme Court. So right now it is the judges who are appointing the judges. The judges are appointing the judges in the present times. Now, what is the challenge for this system? What is the challenge? There is a lack of transparency and accountability. There is a lack of transparency and accountability. On what basis a particular judge has been promoted as a High Court judge or a Supreme Court judge? That process is not transparent. And last day, if you remember this, last day we were talking about this. We have seen multiple such examples in High Court where there is a serious question. We have seen multiple such courts, we have seen multiple such judges in the High Court where there is a serious question that on what thorough evaluation, on what thorough analysis a person has been appointed to the High Court. So there is a lack of transparency and accountability in the system. What we see that there is also an allegation of nepotism in this process. Many a times it has been said that there are only certain families in the country who are getting appointed in judiciary. There is an allegation that only certain families are there who are getting appointed in judiciary. So there is an allegation of nepotism also. Then at the same time, what you will see when we talk about the representation, the proportion of women and religious minority is less than 15% and 5% respectively. The proportion of women in high courts or judiciary in simple and minorities is less than 15% and 5% respectively. If we talk about other communities, like in higher judiciary between 2018 and 2024, only around 20% of the judges, they have belonged to scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other backward classes. So in the judiciary, from the scheduled caste, from the scheduled tribes and the other backward classes, there is only 20% judge from 2018 to 2024. It means 80% of the judges, they are coming from general category. They are coming from the general category. 20% of judges, they are from scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other backward classes. So this shows that there is a lack of diversity in the judiciary. There is a lack of diversity in the judiciary for women also. For minorities, it is only 5%. For minorities, there is only 5% representation. For scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other backward classes who constitute more than 50 to 60% of the population, even higher than that, their representation is around 20%. So this is one of the challenge which has been highlighted in the judiciary. So the new bill has been there, a new private member bill, it has been brought in. It says that this is mandates that due representation should be given to scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, OBC, religious minorities and women in proportion to their population. That in proportion to their population, they should be given representation in the Supreme Court. Second thing, which has also said that there should be a timeline of 90 days for the central government to consider the proposal of the collegium. So this private member bill, it is not saying that we will not have the collegium system. It is not saying that we will not have the collegium system. It says that the same collegium system should consider having more and more representation of different parts of the society in the judicial system. And it says that any such recommendation has to be notified within 90 days by the central government. The third part which has been said by this, that there should be regional benches of the Supreme Court in various areas. There should be a regional bench of Supreme Court in various parts of the country. There are around 83,000 cases pending in Supreme Court. Not all of them are constitutional cases. Some of them might be constitutional cases which may be decided by the constitutional bench in Delhi, but other cases may be decided by the regional bench of Supreme Court in multiple areas. So that is the demand. Okay. Now I have one question for you. What is this private member bill? What is private member bill? That is one part. The process of private member bill and example. So I am giving you three questions. What is private member bill? What is the process of private member bill? And also give some examples of private member bill. Okay. So this is one thing which you have to do. And tomorrow at 4 p.m. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. we will be again meeting for this one thing, the ask your doubt session. Okay. So if any doubt is there, if you are having difficulty in anything, tomorrow we will have asked this doubt session, and especially we will first talk about the notes making. हम लोग सबसे पहले इसमें notes making के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे. So tomorrow we will meet for this one thing. अच्छा गुंजन, okay, I will explain that again in the next session. अगले सेशन में मुझे एक बार फिर से पूछ लेना, because now the time is almost over and there is second class also. So just go by it once again. और फिर भी समझ ना आए तो just let me know. CSAT question. Tell me one thing. How many of you have given the answer for CSAT question? किसी ने भी CSAT का आंसर नहीं दिया है, तो that's why no CSAT question. You have to give the answer first. You have to give the answer first. No one has given the answer. So give the answer, then I will give you more questions from the next day. Okay. Thank you everyone. Take care and all the best.